So a week ago, my son and I decided to try to build our own lightsaber.
I see you have constructed a new lightsaber. Your skills are complete.
So there's a ton of ways to build your own lightsaber. The original, Luke Skywalker's original lightsaber was built with a flash handle, like a flash that connects to a camera. We didn't want to do that. Another option is to use a metal pipe. And we could have done that with an old fence post or a piece of metal pipe. With that though, you're adding rings to it, fitting over. You're building a lot of pieces that you're adding to it. That seemed like a lot of work. Similarly, we could have done it with PVC, which people have done, but same thing, you're starting with a base pipe and you're adding rings to it. The nice thing about PVC is you could cut the rings quite easily and file them and shape them by hand, but again, you're adding lots of pieces to the pipe. We decided to use wood. Now, the first thing with wood is you're gonna need a lathe. I do happen to have a nice lathe, so if you don't have that, you're probably not gonna be able to make it out of wood. For the wood itself, you could use anything, an old piece of pine or a good hardwood that you might have. We actually have a cottonwood in our backyard, and a big branch fell down, 6-inch diameter branch. I cut that up, mounted it on there, and the nice thing about that is it was working with green wood, so it was really easy to use with the chisels. One downside to using the green wood is you might get cracks, which we did have a little crack, but it wasn't a big deal. So here is the end result of what we made. First off, I like the fact that I can see the wood in the middle, and then it looks like metal on the ends. I didn't try to hide the fact that it was wood, painted all silver. You could do that if you wanted, but I like the wood in the middle. And the great thing about these lightsabers is there's tons and tons of good pictures and scale drawings online. So I found this exact lightsaber, which is from Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. I found that it was 11 inches, 11 to 11.5 inches, and 1.5 inches in diameter. And actually, if you compare it to my son's little plastic toy, it's pretty close. Even just to this. And I know this is way bigger, but even that, it seems like about the right size and the right length. I originally made it longer so I could chop down the ends. But using the dimensions online, I could, while it was mounted on the lathe, I just ground it down to the right diameter, and then I could measure and mark as I went all the different locations of where I was going to be cutting. And I just kind of went through, okay, this diameter is this, checked the drawing, okay, this is this diameter, and just checked it as I went along. And it turned out really great. It's really lightweight, and it didn't take more than, I don't know, an hour and a half just to make sure all the cuts were right. After I was done, I put boiled linseed oil over everything. I used silver rub-and buff, and then I used a Sharpie in the dark areas. And then I just started adding things on there to try to make it look like the lightsaber. I cut a piece of heat sink and I glued that on there. I put a little clip on the bottom to attach to your belt, and a little hex nut and things like that. But overall, for a quick one-day project, it was really great. I should have started with a smaller branch or used an actual piece of hardwood, because there was a little bit of split here on the side, but you can't really see it or tell. But overall, really happy with how it turned out, and so let me know what you think. Thanks. Well, I hope you liked the video you just watched. If you did, feel free to subscribe by clicking the button on this side. You can also check out all the videos I've done, the playlist from things I've built, things I've fixed, home repair, 3D printing. And on this side, you can check out a recommended video similar to the one you just watched. And as always, down in the description, I'll put a link to my blog, which has more pictures and more information about the video you just watched. Thanks.